Class 10, welcome to biology lesson number 8. Let us continue from the circulation of blood in the heart. That's why we learn about the structure of heart and different vessels and valves. And let us see the circulation, how the blood circulate in the body with the help of heart. It starts with the contraction of the two atria, the upper two parts, left and right atrium, right? So this atria contracts. At that time the ventricles remain in the relaxation, so they are empty and relaxation. So the atria contracts, blood enters the ventricles, right? And then the ventricles contract. When this happens, the atria become relaxed, and when the ventricles contract, the two different valves we learned about last time from the structure of the heart, the tricuspid valve and the bicuspid valve becomes tightly closed. It stops the blood backflow of the blood into the atria. So the only option for the blood is remain is they enter the ventricular blood to enter the pulmonary artery and aorta, right? So it says the only course or the only path left for the ventricular blood, the blood from the ventricular part, is to enter the pulmonary artery from the right ventricle and the aorta from the left ventricle, right? And that time the valves in these two vessels are in the opposite direction of the tricuspid and the bicuspid valve. So they remain open, blood enters this and flows out, right? When the ventricles dilate, the blood from the pulmonary artery and aorta tends to return. The blood fills the pockets of the valves and closes the passage. This is the way the blood circulates in the body. Now heartbeat. We have learned this in the class 8 about the lesson in the class 8 biology about the system. The sound lub-dub is very important sound. You might have heard and learned how it takes place. It says that each full beat of the human heart lasts for about 0.85 seconds. It means systole of the atria 0.15 seconds and systole of ventricles 0.30 seconds. And all chambers in the relaxed state 0.40 seconds. So it 0.85 seconds, right? At the end of the ventricular systole, the ventricles start relaxing. Diastole we call it. Meanwhile, the atria also been relaxing. So atrial diastole for a short period. Both the atria and the ventricles are in a relaxed state that we call joint diastole for 40 seconds. The whole sequence of events is called cardiac cycle. Now, the lub-dub sound is very important. The first sound lub is produced when the atrioventricular, that is tricuspid and bicuspid valves get closed sharply at the start of the ventricular systole. So when the ventricular systole takes place, these two valves remain closed. And the second sound dub is produced when at the beginning of the ventricular diastole, the lower part become relaxed. The semilunar valves at the roots of the aorta and pulmonary artery get closed. So it would say in the other sense, when this dub sound takes place, the tricuspid and bicuspid valves remain open, right? They have given the different rate of heartbeats for the different animals that you can take a time and look at, right? So this is what the lub-dub sound, right? The smaller the size, we just learned this very important thing. Do you find any relationship between the size of the body and the rate of the heartbeat? Yes. The smaller the size, the faster the heart rate. This is because smaller the animal, more it loses its body heat due to higher surface volume ratio. And therefore, the increased heart rate distributes body heat faster. Second, the young growing stages, such as the human baby, have higher metabolism for body growth, and therefore the faster heart rate keeps the supply and take off the metabolic substances in the right quantities. Because of this only, when the body is small, the heart rate is faster. Now, one important factor is about pacemaker. You might have heard about the arrhythmia, when the heartbeats are not normal or say abnormal. In such situation, doctors place an instrument called pacemaker. That is actually a naturally God-given pacemaker is there, which is already located in the right auricle of the heart. Can you see the diagram here? The right auricle, this sinoatrial node, we call it SAN. The other word is for the pacemaker. It is here, this part. So it transmits the signals or impulses or the command, right, to the heart. The impulse or command which starts the heartbeat rises in the pacemaker located in the walls of the right auricle. This impulse is relayed to the ventricles with the help of special connecting fibers, right, and it moves the pulses. The pacemaker is present near the opening of the superior vena cava and the atrioventricular node. It is found near the interauricular septum. It is between the two auricles, the right and left auricle, and in between there is a septum, and it is found near that septum, right, near the tricuspid valve. A bundle of muscles called bundle of HIS begin from atrioventricular node, then extends to the interventricular septum. Bundle of HIS consists of branches of fibers running along the wall of the ventricles. It called Purkinje fiber. All these together form a system which creates impulse and conduct it to every part of the heart. Sometimes when it becomes faulty, it causes a trouble, and then we need to place a pacemaker in the body, which is artificial, runs with a battery. Now the important part is the blood vessels. We learn about different kinds of blood vessels in the beginning of the lesson, about the arteries, capillaries and veins. Now this is the difference between the arteries and capillaries. Artery is a vessel which carries blood away from the heart towards the organ, right? This is artery. So if you see the structure of the artery and the vein, it is very distinguished. The artery are having a thick muscular walls, having a very narrow lumen. Can you see this opening? It's called lumen. It is very narrow compared to this lumen is very wide, right, in the veins. The blood in the artery flows in spurts, which correspond to the ventricular contraction of the heart. You know what is spurts? Sometimes when you open the tap in your home, the water is not coming in a flow. It's coming in jerks. Water comes and stops and comes like that. So it's called jerks or the spurts. So the blood flows in the artery in the spurts, we call it. Right? Whereas in the veins, the vessel which conveys the blood away from the organ towards the heart, the structure is very different than the artery. The veins are having thin muscular walls, very thin. Lumen is very wide because blood is coming in a flow. The blood in it flows uniformly. It contains thick pocket-shaped valves. So this is absent here in the arteries. The reason is blood is coming back to the heart. It travels against the gravity. So the valve stops the backflow of the blood, right? It prevents the backflow of the blood. Now capillaries. The smallest of the final branch of the artery is called arteriole. These are highly muscular and can change the diameter manifold. The arteriole breaks up into capillaries. A capillary is a very narrow tube. Its wall consists of single layer of squamous epithelial cells. Right? It is narrow tube made up of cells. It has no muscles. Only made up of cells. The total number of the blood capillaries present in the body is inconceivable. We cannot imagine. And the function of the capillary is very important. It says it allows the outward diffusion of oxygen into the intercellular fluid, from there into the tissue cells. So the blood comes to the capillary in the from the artery to arteriole, and from the arteriole to the capillary, and it carries the oxygen, right? So the capillary allows the diffusion of oxygen into the intercellular fluid. Second, it allows the inward diffusion of carbon dioxide from the intercellular fluids. So exchange of gases takes place, I would say, at the place of capillaries. Then it allows leukocytes, WBC, to squeeze out through the capillary walls by means of amoeboid movement, which we will learn already in the previous pages, right? Capillaries have the power of dilating and contracting, which respectively increases or decreases the blood supply to the body parts, which is very helpful for the body. If you were in the sunlight, in the hot sun, the face turns pink and red. The reason is increased blood flow to that part of the body. And if it is very cold, the face or that part turns bluish. The reason is the reduced blood flow. This all takes place due to the help of capillaries. Capillaries gradually reunite and increase in the size, assuming the same three layers: connective tissue layer and muscular layer and endothelium, as in arteries and veins. The smallest united common branch is called venule. Can you see this here in the diagram? If you look at this venule, right? This is venule. So the smallest united common branch of the capillaries called venule. The venules join to form larger veins compared with arterioles. The venules are larger with much weaker muscular coat. They are large, but muscular coat is very weak compared to arteries. Now this is difference between the arteries and veins. You take a time and read this difference. It is very important, right? And it will be a help for the small 1 mark questions or fill-ups or the MCQs. All right. The two blood circulation in the body, then is first is pulmonary and systemic. When it's a pulmonary, it means to the lung, from the heart to lung and lung back to heart. And systemic, it means related to the whole body. From the heart, the blood flows in the body, different organs, and come back to the heart. That is systemic. So these are the two blood circulations we are having in the body. So if you take a look at the recall, initially we learn about the open circulation and closed circulation. So in the human body we have closed circulation: arteries, arterioles, capillaries, venules, then capillaries and veins, right? It is closed circulation. And then second one is it says systemic blood circulation. Now pulmonary circulation pertains to the lungs. It starts in the pulmonary artery arising from the right ventricles, which soon divides into two branches that enter their respective lungs. Pulmonary veins collect the oxygenated blood from the lungs and carry it back to the left auricle of the heart. We learned earlier about this, that generally artery, when we talk artery, we learn only one thing, that artery carries blood with oxygen. But when we talk about the pulmonary artery, this is totally opposite of that. It carries blood with the carbon dioxide. Same way when we talk about the veins, coming back to heart, carries CO2, the oxygenated blood. But when we talk about the pulmonary vein, it carries oxygen to the heart, right? And systemic circulation pertains to the major circulation in the body. It starts with the aorta that arises from the left ventricle. The aorta arcs back and continues behind as the aorta. The aorta sends articles to various body parts and their tissues. From there, the blood is collected by veins and poured back into the heart. Now, this hepatic portal system is very important. Now, when you say hepatic, it talks about the liver, right? You might have heard the word hepatitis, right? So, hepatic portal vein is very important. This vein starting from the stomach and intestine do not directly convey the blood to the posterior vena cava. Generally, we learn that the blood from the organ collects and enters into the posterior vena cava, the vessels which come back to the heart. But in this part, it does not happen this way. Instead, they first enter the liver as a combined hepatic portal vein. Then it breaks up into capillaries. The veins enter the liver, breaks into capillaries. In contrast to the general characteristics of the vein, and a new vein called hepatic vein and is formed